I am being punished. Sometimes what feels like a punishment is an opportunity. That was my theme today, actually. Things in my way. It seemed like everything was in my way. I've talked about it before. Nobody around. And the minute I want to pull out onto the main road, suddenly cars out of the woodwork blocking me, like in the way. And then finally I get on the road and nobody around. Same with the supermarket. Wherever I wanted to be, someone else was in my way. In front of the exact brand of milk I wanted, in front of my cheese, in front of my chocolate. And finally I said, this has to be like a dream. And it is, and it was. And I told myself, I accept everything in my way. And it didn't stop, but it made the experience more pleasant. Opportunities coming full circle. Everything was actually interesting, and also in my way. Wow, this video. Everything went wrong in this video, but I thought I'd share it anyway. I thank you for being here this week. I love you all. God bless, and welcome. Here I'm looking at San Francisco. Chief is mad. He's a good boy. Yes. Let me show you what that looks like. That is what mad looks like. Oh, you're good, Chichi. Yes. Oh. And here we are in San Francisco. Probably all seen what we would be told are industrial ruins like this. Beautiful. Massive. Repurposed, perhaps wondrous. Look at the land. Surely the land didn't need to be shaped. And actually the truth is, these were giant, beautiful buildings, and so much has been demolished. You can see over here, beautiful land in San Francisco, now pretty much scraped clean. We see streets, grid. And let me zoom out a little. Here's some more. Very, very shaped, starfort shape, but now junked up, industrialized. Let me zoom out more and show you this Treasure Island. This was the site of one of the World's Fairs. This was full of beautiful buildings that have now been scraped clean, looking industrial, looking like that stuff we were just looking at a minute ago. Treasure Island, here we go. Beautiful buildings stood here, and now the building is being demolished and hauled away. Most people would look at this and not think twice, but we know there was a World's Fair building here. Look how they've put shipping containers too high all around it. Here we go. The site of a past World's Fair. Old trees and streets. I think one of them remains, this one, and it looks so junky now. You must see what it looked like. All of this at its prime. Now it almost looks industrial. And you can also see how this was an old train turnaround point. You can see it here. That's what's so interesting. It's like it was industrial, and then they made a fair of it, and then turned it back into industrial. Even for a short time, they appreciated the beauty of what we now realize were quite possibly train terminals, industrial centers, technologies, transportation hubs. This also was a World's Fair building. You can faintly tell at this point. They've totally industrialized it. Same here. Faint traces of its former beauty. Let's see if we can somehow drop the man. They're in the process of demolishing all of this in real time. We can't go down here. Anyway, a large building looks like this in due time. I mean, where did all this dirt come from? I want to flash some pictures of this Treasure Island. Here it looks like they've just buried a building, but let me zoom way out. Most of the cool ones were here, actually, right here. They've not only demolished them, but just scraped away, turned the buildings into this ocean break. But let me zoom out. Let me change the angle so you can see the symmetry. This road here is the main drag. We can see old footage of horse and wagon, really chaotic horse and wagon, along with trolleys. In the late 1800s, all of this is here, and it leads all the way to this ferry building. Ferry building is the terminus point, and now there are no trains that pull right up to it. I mean, in the old footage, we do see the train, but it doesn't go straight up to the building like it used to. It used to come all the way up to the front and then join in with this train line. So we do still have a train line. A very impressive building. Again, the terminus point for this street, surveyed perfectly like a straight arrow. And then we hit this X point here, Castro, and there does appear to be some train activity still. And here I happen to have a pin. It looks like there would have been a great building here. We can faintly see something. I mean, it should be lush, and it's just a sand pile in a parking lot. And the parking lot is the site, if it's not clear. Glorious building. Otherwise, you don't need a parking lot out here. We're told it's the Nike missile site, a historical place. There we go. It almost seems like there's some evidence left here. Be wrong. I mean, there's still scraping over here. Now grown over grass. You see what I'm saying? Something underground here that they wanted to keep. They've built the parking lot around it. These little nubs, these mounds here, now grassed over. So let's take a pause. So now the website I was trying to check out just won't open. Weirdest thing. I have internet, but it won't open. So what do we do? This seems to be working. Of course, I have thousands of pictures, but here I have all these pins too. Recently, we were looking at some San Francisco, and I was shocked to discover that I had some pins that I didn't remember placing. One of them was right here, and I thought we'd look at some others. We would look at some of my pins, going way back to the oldest pin. And I have lost my pins before, maybe twice, and built them up again. I think you can save pins and not be logged in. So here we go. I am logged in now. I don't know why I was freaking out like that. Here we are in Petra. First pin. Petra. Let's zoom out a little. And if you didn't know that there were these amazing structures and internal passageways in this area, you wouldn't think there was anything here. You would think it was a total wasteland. Let's see where we can drop the man. Man, how about here? Here we go. And Petra. No passageways. It looks like there is one here. And this is what it looks like. It looks like Utah out there. Totally Utah. How about over here? Really sandy. Looks like you want to have the right vehicle. And again, looking like Utah. I'm kind of striking out here, but it's a good opportunity to see what this looks like in non-photographed places. I've actually never seen it. Not like this. Okay, so let's really zoom out. I see I have a pin for a castle over here. And I think my pin might have been in the wrong place. I don't know why. I put my pin out here, and no doubt ruins out here. And in fact, these canyons, I think, are old streets. You see the symmetry here as well, for example. Now, of course, just cooked. But here, I put in Petra ruins, and it says this is where we can find them. Let's have a look. Alright, that's more like it. Look at this. This is like one massive building. Just a few columns left. Otherwise, we wouldn't even know how glorious this building once was. We would be as clueless as these goats. But no, just a husk indicating that it's not just the things we see up here built what looks like into the mountain. More realistically, it was the mountain. Either way, This adds another element, like this was some grand city. These were buildings up here, down here, a giant building. Let me show you the size. Here we go. Just hook the faintest trace, just really looking primitive. One could say Native American ruins, or any ruin. Here we see columns, and we don't have to guess whether this city had a Greco-Roman feel, because the ruins that we do see, especially the ones they tell us are carved into the mountain, have Greco-Roman features. 100%. But this is all new to me, this particular location. Again, we usually look at the nicest pictures, the places they want us to see. But here, again, were they carving? Or were these the buildings now cooked? Over here we can see columns. Here it says Great Temple. Here we go. Lesser known locations. Looks like this one is being occupied today. They've put in glass windows. This one has bars, and these ones seem a little too melted. But again, a thin layer covering these openings. And here we see things like little nubs of columns. So this will have been a columned building. And here they've just kicked me into sky mode or something. I don't know why. But let's take a pause and discuss this. Okay, discussing sky mode if they insist. I don't know why they insist. I was minding my own business. I didn't ask for this. But let's look at sky mode if we must. Oops, I was a little out of control there. So sky mode. I like to talk about this realm and the shape of it, but that's a very triggering topic, and there are channels that do that. I, in order to share, like to focus on this element instead. Let's just cast aside the shape of the realm. Who cares? Let us discuss the bigger question. Are we flying through space? Flying through space? Yes. We are to believe, we are taught, and we must regurgitate the idea in order to get a passing grade, that we are flying through space. Every day, it's like Star Trek, we're told, just whizzing through space. Not only is the Earth spinning, we're told, which I don't believe, but it's also moving in another direction at 1,000,000 miles an hour. 1,000,000 miles. The spin is like 1,000, and then add another direction of 1,000,000 miles an hour with a spin. Spinning and propelling at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Where? We don't know. It's like Star Trek again. We should be passing through new quadrants, should be mapping space like Jean-Luc Picard. But no, none of that's going on. No announcement that we have moved into some weird space realm where things are different, the conditions are different, no new colors, no new stars. And that's my point with this little map that has been forced upon me, that is actually put out by the Navy and NOAA. You can see down here, I think. But no, my point, the same, so the same, that they could put it in stone, in digital stone. This is digital stone. Here we go. These are your stars. There will be no new stars. There will be nothing new. We can put this image, essentially, on this screen and call it good. No new stars. No new nothing. Totally predictable. I'm sure they have a mode where I could show the constellations, Orion's Belt, the Big Dipper, and you would see that they're the same stars. It's always been the same stars. There's a whole science called astrology based on observing these luminaries, predicting, and in fact the work of Anatoly Fomenko, discovering that our timeline is indeed heavily fabricated, was discovered by using computers and calculating past celestial events. But not my point. These are the same stars. Are we flying through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour and nothing is changing? These stars, science tells us, are millions of miles away. Yet, when you live out in the country like I do, you recognize them all. Nothing new under the sun. Pause. So I don't know what happened here, but let's go to the next pin. Here we're going to Iran. Oh, really cool. I don't know if I need to reboot my computer or something. Totally stupid today. That was really good too. Here we go, back into space and into some warp zone. Why? I mean, this whole video was because I couldn't open the web page that I wanted to. And this is actually pretty sick. I wish they would let me see it. I remember this place. I think it's like Persepolis or something. Damn, these bastards today. Maybe I said too much. Here's Persepolis, Iran. Okay, yeah, I think this is the same place. So here we go. Let's drop the man. And we have the same deal here. We have the same deal with Google Earth for some reason. Not a happy Earth. Okay, so here we're in the ancient city. This is really weird. I don't know if I'll share this. Let's go somewhere else. Timgad, Algeria. Looks like a really old city, kind of cooked out. And look at this. Maybe this is what interested me. No doubt, an old grid of a city. Look how cool this is. I mean, horrible, really. These people clearly displaced. Pretty unbelievable. Perfectly surveyed and cooked out. And we can see that these were like old world buildings. You'll recognize it. You'll see the symmetry. And over here, how old. And it's really not about how old, it's more what happened. I'm sure there's a story, and it would be interesting, but I'm sure it's not the whole story either. I mean, there's all of this. Let's see if we can drop the man. Very little man dropping. Unbelievable. Here we go. Just the ruins are unbelievable. This was an advanced city, now completely cooked, and I've been kicked off. Well, I don't know what happened in this one, but I do hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining me. I love you all. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.